North Carolina Property Tax Commission. Let me introduce commission members today. We have, of course, I'm Bob Hunter, Chairman of the Commission, Vice Chairman Terry Wheeler, and then we have Commissioner Alex Guess and Commissioner June Michaud, our Secretary and General Counsel Steve Pelfrey, our court reporter Linda Garrett, and Alexandra Bendette is our staff person who hosts this and helps us out in many other ways. We yesterday had a case that we heard basically all day long, and we continued this morning to deliberate on that case. Before we deliberate on that case, we will take these motions that we have to dismiss from New Hanover County, and let's see who all we have. Let's see. I'm not
Steve,
seeing
who is
everybody.
who is the New Hanover County person?
I think it's Sharon Huffman, but she may be at somebody else's office.
I was muted. I'm sorry. Chris Boney is with New Hanover County.
Anybody else on the list that you know of?
I don't believe anyone else is with New
Okay.
Hanover.
Okay.
Is Chris
Thank you.
Boney? Oh, there's Mr. Boney. Okay, I had down Sharon Huffman on the agenda here, but so it's Chris Boney.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Boney is the Assistant Tax Administrator in New Hanover County.
Okay.
And if Ms. Huffman is not with us, maybe he can fill us in a little bit.
Okay. Mr. Boney, are you there, or Ms. Huffman?
Hello.
Trying.
That sounds like Ms. Huffman.
We can hear you now.
Hello.
Yes, we hear you.
Good morning. This is Sharon Huffman. I was not able to open the link that was sent to me yesterday, so we are on Mr. Chris Boney's laptop, and we were able to open his link. So he and I are both here and ready to proceed at your pleasure.
Okay, and we have your video, but your audio, but we do not have your video if you want us to be able to see you.
We popped up on a video a few minutes ago, but it went away.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll take these matters. And by the way, were you on yesterday? Was it you that was on?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, Mr. Boney said he sat through your marathon hearing yesterday.
Okay, which is not over. We're going to deliberate as soon as we get through with these other items. We won't make you sit and wait on those. We did take care of the matter that we had on Wednesday's calendar, the Mayflower 16 cinema. That was dismissed yesterday. And so we have today 3 motions from New Hanover County. We have the matter of Leo Couple, 21 Property Tax Commission 0298. County is represented by Ms. Huffman, who is here. Is anybody online appearing for the appellate, Mr. Couple? Any contact with them, Ms. Huffman?
I have not heard from these folks.
Okay. All right. Then we have the, we'll hear from you as to your motion.
As you said, Judge Hunter, this is the Leo Couple matter, 21 PTC 298. This matter involves property located at 125 Gladiolas Road in Wilmington. The county mailed a notice of value to the Mr. Couple, the owner, for the tax year 2021. This notice was mailed February 19 of 21. It's attached as Exhibit 1 to the motion to dismiss. Additionally, the Board of Equalization and Review for New Hanover County completed its duties and adjourned on May 11 of 2021. The public notice setting forth the adjournment date of May 11 is attached as Exhibit 3 to the motion to dismiss. By letter dated April 17 of 21, the taxpayer was notified that his appeal request had been reviewed and there was to be no change in the 2021 value. That letter dated April 17 of 21 did inform the taxpayer that the last day to appeal his value would be May 3rd, and that the May 11 adjournment date of the Board of Equalization and Review was by law the last date that an appeal request could be received. The taxpayer ultimately did file a notice of appeal on May 18, which was a week past the final May 11 date that by law anyone would be able to appeal. He was informed that that May 18 appeal was not timely filed and that he had the ability, if he wished, to file an appeal to the Property Tax Commission, which he did. He did file an AV 14 on June 23 of 21. That AV 14 that he filed was never sent to or received by the county tax administrator or by the county attorney's office. There are 2 exhibits attached to the motion to dismiss, which state that the AV 14 was never received by the tax administrator or the county attorney. And therefore, the taxpayer's appeal was both untimely and was never received by the tax administrator or the county attorney's office, and therefore the Property Tax Commission would not have jurisdiction to hear this matter. And for both of those reasons, we would ask that this appeal be dismissed.
Okay. Help me with these dates, Ms. Huffman. He did appeal and to the Board of Equalization and Review, and that was denied on. I'm looking in the file and I see the letter here that's stamped May 18th. You said that, I think that, go back to your statement, the last day appeal was May 3rd, and the letter denying it was notified April 17th. Is that that date?
There was an informal appeal and he was notified on April 17 that the Board of Equalization Review was upholding the value. He was told in the April 17 letter, which is attached as Exhibit 5 to the motion, he was told on April 17 that his last date to appeal would be May the 3rd. And then, of course, the Board of Equalization Review adjournment date was May 11, which would be by law the last time anyone would be able to appeal. And then his appeal was actually filed on May 18. That is attached as Exhibit 6.
Okay, Steve, anything you want to add to the timing of that?
No, Mr. Chairman, not as to the times contained in the county's motion, but I will inform the commission that the parties were notified of today's hearing by letter dated and mailed December 21st, 2021. Everyone was informed of the time and date, manner, and purpose of today's hearing.
Okay, questions by commissioners? Seeing none, anything else, Ms. Huffman?
No, sir. Thank you.
Do I have a motion in this matter?
So moved.
Vice Chairman Wheeler moves to grant the county's motion to dismiss in 21 Property Tax Commission 0298 from New Hanover County in the matter of appeal of Leo F. Couple. Do I have a second? Do I have a second to Vice Chairman Wheeler's motion?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Michaud. Any further discussion? Alex, you look like you want to say something.
Good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. And opposed, say nay, and it's unanimous. Okay, that matter is dismissed. The next matter we have before us is DDR Properties, 21 Property Tax Commission 0325. Here on a motion to dismiss filed by New Hanover County. And so Ms. Huffman will hear you, Ms. Matter. Is anybody here on behalf of the taxpayer, DDR Properties? I don't believe we have anybody else online, do we, Ms. Bendette?
Not related to this hearing, no.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Ms. Huffman.
This is the matter of DDR Properties 21 PTC 325. This involves New Hanover County property located at 15 Backfin Point in Wilmington. New Hanover County mailed a notice of value to DDR Properties, the owner of record. This notice of value was dated and mailed on February 19, 2021. It informed the taxpayer that their last day to appeal this value was 30 days from the date of the notice, which was February 19. Also enclosed within that notice was a citizen reappraisal guide brochure, which informs the taxpayer the rules and regs which apply to their ability to appeal their value. Additionally, the enclosed within the information sent to the taxpayer was the public notice, which stated that the Board of Equalization and Review would adjourn on May 11, 2021, and that would by law be the last date that anyone would be able to appeal their value. These items are attached as Exhibit 3 to our motion to dismiss. The next thing that happened was on June 7, the taxpayer sent an appeal request to the tax office. This appeal request was 27 days after the May 11 date, which is by law the last day that anyone would be able to appeal to the Board of Equalization and Review. This appeal request dated June 7 is attached as Exhibit 4 to our motion to dismiss. The taxpayer was notified that his appeal was not timely and that he did have the ability to file an appeal with the Property Tax Commission, which he did on July 12th. That is attached as Exhibit 6. Therefore, New Hanover County asked that his appeal be dismissed as not being timely filed. Again, the last date that anyone would be able to appeal a New Hanover County value was May 11, and his appeal was dated June 24. Therefore, we ask that his appeal be dismissed.
Okay, Steve, you want to inform us about notice?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, again, by letter dated December 21st, 2021, the parties in this matter were notified of the time, date, manner, and purpose of today's hearing.
All right. Questions from commissioners? Anything further, Ms. Huffman?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion in this matter? I have a
Move we
motion,
grant the county's motion to dismiss.
motion from Commissioner Guest, seconded by
Second.
Vice Chairman Wheeler, that we grant the county's motion to dismiss in the matter of the appeal of DDR Properties, 21 Property Tax Commission 0325. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. And the motion carries unanimously. The next matter before us, also New Hanover County, in the matter of Woodland Property Investments LLC, 21 Property Tax Commission 0330. Here on a motion to dismiss from New Hanover County, represented by Ms. Huffman. Is anyone here representing the appellate? Ms. Bendet, I think you said there was nobody in that last matter. I assume there's nobody in this matter as well.
No, sir, not in relation to this appeal.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Huffman.
This is the appeal of Woodland Property Investments, 21 PTC 330. This matter involves 4 New Hanover County parcels at several different addresses in Wilmington. The county mailed notices of value to the Woodland Property Investment, given the different values for the 4 different parcels. These notices of value were dated and mailed February 19 of 21. The notice of value that was sent also included a citizen reappraisal guide and a copy of the public notice regarding the adjournment date of the Board of Equalization and Review. The adjournment date of the Board of Equalization Review was May 11, 21, and that would be the last date that by law the Board of Equalization and Review could receive any appeals. On March the 16th, the taxpayer sent a appeal request, which was reviewed and denied by the Board of Equalization and Review. A letter was sent to the taxpayer on April 17, notifying them that there would not be any change in their value and that they could appeal that if they wished. That April 17 letter stated that the last day to appeal would be May the 3rd. And again, by law, the last day that they would be able to appeal would be May 11, being the adjournment date of the Board of ENR. The taxpayer did file a notice of appeal within these time frames, and so there was a timely appeal which was received by the tax office on April the 28th. This is attached as Exhibit 5. The tax department informed the taxpayer that the Board of Equalization and Review had reviewed their appeal, but had upheld the value of the 4 parcels. That's attached as Exhibit 6. The taxpayer then did, in a timely fashion, appeal to the board, to the Property Tax Commission, and that appeal is attached as Exhibit 7 to our motion to dismiss. The taxpayer did not, though, send a copy of that AV-14 to the tax administrator or to the county attorney's office. I always double check when I don't receive to make sure that the tax office has not received as well. My policy is that the tax office receives it, even if I don't, that I don't file a motion to dismiss. But in this matter, neither the tax administrator or the county attorney received the AV-14. There are affidavits attached to the motion to dismiss as Exhibit 8 and Exhibit 9, which states that neither the tax administrator or the county attorney received the AV-14. And therefore, the county does ask that this appeal be dismissed.
Okay, and I assume that the taxpayer was present at the hearing before the Board of Equalization and Review.
Mr. Boney says the taxpayer was present.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Mr. Boney has indicated that the taxpayer was
Okay.
present at the hearing.
Well, I thought you always notified them they had the opportunity to be there. Mr. Shelfrey, you want to advise us as to notice about today's hearing?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, again, by letter dated December 21st, 2021, the parties were notified of the time, date, manner, and purpose of today's hearing.
Okay, all right. Questions by commissioners? Yes, Mr. Guest.
Okay, this taxpayer other than the AV 14, did everything on time. Has anyone communicated back to the taxpayer that they failed to submit the AV 14 to give them an opportunity to do so? They may have overlooked it.
Well, they were served with a copy of my motion to dismiss that states all of this, and I've not heard anything from them.
Okay. And
Go ahead.
Mr. Pelfrey, do we send anything out to the taxpayers saying there's a defect, they need to cure this? I'm curious.
Mr. Guest, I do not, but Commissioner Guest, excuse me, I don't believe that we say this is a defect that you need to fix, but there is notification provided in, I believe the acknowledgement letter, but at some level, a letter that goes to each appellant that indicates that the AV 14 form is required to be served on the county attorney. There's a slight difference there. The statute requires the notice of appeal to be filed with the assessor or to be served on the assessor, and the administrative code requires the AV 14 to be served on the county attorney. The AV 14 actually serves both purposes, so that form should be served on both parties, both the county attorney and the tax assessor. And I would also point out that in the past, the commission has determined that failure to do that was grounds for dismissal.
Thank you.
Steve, let me ask, was an AV 14 file with us? I didn't see one, but I don't have the file.
Mr. Chairman, I believe it was. I can pull that up electronically, but it's not normally, the file contents are normally not included with motions.
Okay, well, let me ask this. So that's the only violation is failure to serve it on the county if we got it. Do you want to see if you could?
And failure to appear at today's hearing.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Guest, you want to see if they filed it with the commission?
I think we should know if it was filed with the commission. That'd be if Mr. Pelfrey can look that up.
Judge,
Can just give me just one moment.
if you want to look at my Exhibit 7, I don't know if you have that in front of you, that is the acknowledgement from the Property Tax Commission that they had received a notice of appeal. But that's all that I have received is that letter that says they have appealed and that they need to file the AV 14. And within that letter is where, again, they're told they need to send a copy to the administrator and the county attorney, but I don't have a copy of the AV 14.
All right, Steve, you can kind of look that up. And we can, how long do you think it'll take you to do that, I guess?
I am actually looking at it right now, and I was looking at it, but I scrolled past it. 1 second. Here we go. So yes, we do. We do have a copy of the AV 14 that was stamped as received on July 16th and was treated as filed on. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what I just said, but July 16th, 2021 is the date that it was actually received, and based on the postmark, it was considered filed on July 14th, 2021. We did receive, the Property Tax Commission did receive a notice of appeal and application for hearing.
Okay, well, it looks like it's filed with the commission. Maybe, what do you think about this? We go ahead and dismiss it, and if he goes back and complies, he could file a motion, I guess, for us to reconsider. He did not appear today, or we've had no contact from him. I take it, Mr. Pelfrey. And the
That's
letter
correct.
the letter did not come back about notice.
That's correct as well.
If a letter comes back as unserved, I guess you have that in the file. Is that correct?
We would, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. You want to do that? You want to go ahead and dismiss it? Do I have a motion that we grant the county's motion?
Make the motion.
Have a motion by
grant the
Commissioner
county's
Rochelle
motion.
that we grant the county's motion to dismiss this matter or failure to file AB 14 with the county and also failure to appear today.
I'll second that.
Have a second from Commissioner Guest. Further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And so opposed, nay, and it's unanimous, and the motion is granted in this matter. Woodland Property Investments LLC, 21 Property Tax Commission 030 is dismissed. Okay. Some reason
Judge
my throat.
Hunter,
Yes,
Judge
ma'am.
Hunter, I've got another file in front of me that I just want to confirm that it's not on for hearing. It's 21 PTC 424. Last name Scott.
I showed that as withdrawn on my calendar. Mr. Pelfrey, can you address it? You're muted, Mr. Pelfrey.
Thank you. I'm not sure if this was pursuant to the county's motion to dismiss or if this was a commission motion. Ms. Huffman, did the county file a motion to dismiss in this?
We did, Brian Scott, 21 PTC 424.
Okay. And the county's motion was not withdrawn, is that correct?
The county did not withdraw it.
Okay.
Steve, you want to check on it? You want us to go ahead, suggest we go ahead and hear it or put it off, or what's your suggestion?
I would suggest that let me double check the file. I don't think that the appellant would have gotten notice for this because it was marked as withdrawn, but let me double check that real quick.
Okay.
Did Jeff tell you that?
He mentioned it, but he didn't send me an email.
Steve, Chris Boney says that Jeff made some reference that the taxpayer had withdrawn.
Oh, okay,
He didn't
okay.
receive any type of documentation other than a comment in passing.
Okay. So if that is the case, I would recommend to the commission that it's actually not on the calendar, but it is on the calendar. But nobody got notice of the hearing for today. Let me see if we can clarify that. And so it sounds like what might have happened is the county filed a motion to dismiss, but the taxpayer withdrew the appeal. But let us verify that. And if that's not the case, then we can put it back on the agenda at another session and make sure that everybody's got notice and then be heard on the motion.
Steve,
Okay.
Chris has just pulled up an email from Jeff this morning
He sent it
Okay.
to you also, Steve.
that says the taxpayer had withdrawn.
Okay. Yes. So right. So we would have. I don't know if I responded to that or not, but normally what would happen is we would simply send letters to the parties indicating that the file was closed based on the withdrawal. And we do have an email from Brian L. Scott indicating that he wanted the appeal withdrawn. So
Okay.
this does not need to be rescheduled. Nobody needs notice. If we haven't done so already, we'll make sure letters go out to the county and to the appellant, letting them know that the file is closed.
Okay. So there's nothing we need to do on it. All
That's
right.
correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Thank you, Ms. Huffman. Mr. Boney, appreciate it. Um, we're back to our matter that we heard yesterday in the Mingo Creek Investments Roman numeral 2 LLC versus Wake County, and appeal from the January 1, 2020 reevaluation or reappraisal. I think that was reevaluation. Who all do we have with us today? I'm not seeing the screen of anybody else. I guess they need to be brought on. They're not.
We have Mr. Wenzel and Mr. Murphy.
Good morning, Mr. Wenzel. Good morning, Mr. Murphy.
Morning.
Have you back with us? I don't see anybody else, but
Mr.
yesterday we
Chairman,
finished.
their witnesses are also attendees. If you want me to bring them over, I wasn't sure if you needed that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I guess we better.
Can you remind me, was Matthew Harris one of the witnesses?
He was not.
Okay. All right. So it's just Jeremy Kahn.
So we have Mr. Khan and your other witnesses, Mr. Wenzel, are not present. Is that correct?
Correct. No, sir.
Okay. All righty. And we finished up the evidence yesterday. All the testimony and all the exhibits were admitted. We had the final arguments. Any commissioners have any further questions in this matter? All right. Yes, Ms. Michaud, Commissioner Michaud.
Yes, this is for the county employee, I think, Mr. Khan. Good morning. This is Commissioner Michaud. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just possibly just as a review, you probably said it yesterday, I'm sure you did, but why did you rely on the sales comparison approach when determining the value of these properties? I think it was indicated in some material that it was proper for the subject. Could you elaborate on that again?
Sure. We view these as 39 individual single family.
I can't hear you.
Your volume is very low, Mr. Khan.
Nope, I forgot didn't have my microphone now down. So
Okay.
can you
Much
hear me all
better.
right now?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank
Yes.
you.
Yep. Again, the county views these as 39 individual single family townhome properties. And as I testified yesterday, there are approximately 56,000 townhome properties in the county, and they have all been valued via the sales comparison approach. And that's particularly appropriate in this instance because we have a copious amount of sales data over the 2 years preceding the date evaluation. So we feel that the data that was available to us and the fact that the typical buyers and sellers of individual single family properties are looking at sales in the market. They're not looking at income, well, from an income perspective. So that's why we use the sales comparison approach. And again, for this appeal, we did do an income approach to see what that value indication would be. And the income approach for all 39 of those properties actually exceeded the value indicated by the sales comparison approach. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Khan, one thing I was thinking about, am I correct yesterday, if you said if this property had been platted as one tract without the individual lots, that it would be treated as like apartments and valued accordingly?
Yes, sir. It essentially would be apartments at that point, particularly if it's on one parcel of land and the single ownership entity has entire control over not only the buildings, but all the exterior common elements. But again, that's not necessarily the case with this.
Okay. All righty. Any other commissioners have any other questions? Yes, Vice Chairman Wheeler.
Let me follow up on that because yesterday at the end of the meeting, I asked Mr. Gosh, what was his name? Kirkland, about a plat that was recorded in the Register of Deeds office, platting these as individual parcels, 40 of them. Are you aware of that, Mr. Khan?
Yes, sir. That's why there are individual ID numbers for all of those 39 parcels. That's based
So
on
it's
that
not-
plat.
Right. So it's not one parcel. There are 40.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Khan, kind of follow up to that. I'm about to lose my train of thought. Were those parcels done when the whole development was started and platted, or were they done by the taxpayer?
No, I believe those were done. I don't know this for certain, but I believe that plat was done prior to construction. I'm sure Mingo Creek was developed in phases. I don't know where this sort of fell into those phases, but I can't imagine any construction was started before that plat was recorded.
But was it the plat for the whole area? I don't know how many lots in there.
I believe that was a plat just for that phase where the subject property is located.
Okay, and you don't know whether there was an original plat that had it all, or?
I'm not aware.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All righty. Any comments regarding those questions, Mr. Murphy or Mr. Wenzel?
None from me, Mr. Chair.
No, sir. I think the plat is what it is whenever it got recorded back in 2008 or somewhere thereabouts.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then, if there are no further questions from commission members, then we will go into executive session and deliberate on this matter. And when we have a decision, we'll be back with you. Ms. Bendeck, can you put us in executive session, please, ma'am?
Yes, just a minute here. All right, Mr. Chairman, we're all set.
Okay, welcome back. I see Mr. Wenzel, I see Mr. Murphy, and I think I saw I see Mr. Khan's box there. Okay, you guys have given us a tough case as to how we view this property and how it should be properly taxed. We've deliberated and discussed it and given it a lot of thought, and the commission has voted 3-1 to uphold the county's value. The chairman dissented. We will get out an opinion. I'm not going to give a final amount today. We feel like we need to go back and review the county's evidence and determine exactly what the proper amount should be. And that'll be in the opinion. If you want to communicate anything to Mr. Pelfrey on that, either council, you can send anything in to him, copy the other party if you do that. We just want to double check the figures since there was confusion over the 40 lots in the appraisals and information versus 39 lots. All right, anything else, Mr. Murphy, Mr. Wenzel?
No, sir, for me.
No, nothing from me, Mr. Chair, and other than thank you to the commission members for your careful consideration. Mr. Wenzel, thank you for, your work on this and being very easy to work with as we prepared for the hearing, and Ms. Hosey as well.
Likewise,
Uh,
back to you.
Okay, and Mr. Murphy, would you stay on? There's a procedural matter that I'd like for you and I and Mr. Pelfrey to talk about, not in this case, but in general about some things.
Yes, sir. Sure.
All right. And of course, you'll get an opinion in this. That may take a little longer than normal, but I'd suspect we would have it out within 90 days. Since we have an opinion to do and a majority opinion and a dissenting opinion. And thank you, witnesses, for us. Mr. Khan still on, I believe. So thank you, Mr. Khan. And if you'd thank Mr. Strickland, Mr. Keith, and Mr. Kirkland, I believe it was. And also Ms. Hosey. I believe those were all the other people involved. And we had a hard day yesterday. We know you've had to spend a lot of time on it as well. But that's what we're here to decide. Not only the easy motions like this morning, but the hard cases like this one. So thank you all very much. And Ms. Bendette, if you put us into executive session. Thank you, Ms. Garrett.
Thank you.
You don't need me to report anything further today, Chair?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Great. I'll see you next
Steve, we
month.
don't need anything else recorded, do we?
No, sir, there's nothing more for the record today. And just while everybody's still on, to clarify for Mr. Wenzel and Mr. Murphy, I believe in evidence we've got the county's values for all 39 to 40 parcels. I think, you know, in announcing the decision today, it wasn't clear what that total was. So that nothing is going to be adjusted or anything like that. I don't
Right.
think I need anything from either of y'all because those individual parcel values are already there.
Okay. All right. I guess that's right. It's just deducting or adding up 39 rather than 40. And y'all gave us some information on that, so it should be pretty easy to do.
Sir, I can just speak to that. The Exhibit 4 to the county's exhibits, the affidavit of Mr. Khan, there is the final paragraph of that affidavit has a list of the 39 properties with the assessed value for each, the county's opinion of the assessed value, and the final aggregate total at the bottom of that paragraph. So, Mr. Pelfrey, I believe that's what you're referencing when you say that figure is in evidence.
It is. I believed I had seen it yesterday at some point. I just wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Mr.
Okay.
May I ask a question on that?
Sure.
My question is, I understand the decision, but was it based on the county's income approach number, or was it based upon the comparable sales number?
That'll be set out in the opinion.
Very well. Thank you.
We need to put in the record, Mr. Murphy, what that final figure was, but it's still subject to adjustment once Mr. Pelfrey has time to go over everything.
I'm happy to read that into the record at this point, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. If it's,
Just the aggregate total, I think, is all.
and that was going to be, I guess, my next question. There are 39 individual totals added up to an aggregate. Let me get to that. The county's aggregate assessed value for these 39 parcels that were under appeal is $5,960,110. And again, that's in evidence both through testimony during the hearing yesterday and the county's documentary evidence, specifically County Exhibit 4, which was the affidavit of Jeremy Kahn, paragraph 6 of that affidavit.
Right. Okay. And Mr. Wenzel, I think what the opinion will probably set out is we did not treat this as investment property, but we treated it as the county had appraised it. And you'll get your opinion and also a notice of your appeal rights, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Understood. Yes, sir.
Okay, and all right now, Ms. Medett, you can put us in executive session.
Just give me 1 minute.
And Alexandra, can you take Mr. Murphy out initially, and then he can hold on and we can bring him back when it's just Steve and I, and we won't have to hold the other commissioners up. It shouldn't take long, Mr. Murphy, for us to be back with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, can you take Mr. Murphy out? Okay, you got him. No, we still got him, looks like, or do we?